Hi guys, I'm Kasia. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to discuss movies and horror. And today I'm here to talk to you about a movie that I've seen a lot of people discussing, and that is Influencer.
It's coffee time.
To be honest with you, when I heard about this film, I was like, oh no, it's gonna be another one of those kind of cheesy movies about an influencer that is obnoxious and annoying, and then people get killed and that's it. But oh my, I was slightly surprised with this film, so let's talk about it. As always, spoiler free. Influencer is a horror movie directed by Curtis David Harder, and it was just released on Shudder. And as the title implies, it is a horror movie that talks about social media and influencers. I was not expecting the movie that I got. I kind of went into it without even watching a trailer or anything. I just jumped straight into it and I was kind of pleasantly surprised. Social media influencer Madison is struggling on a solo backpacking trip in Thailand when she meets CW, a girl who travels with ease and shows her a more uninhibited way of living, but soon things will take a darker turn. This movie has a runtime of only 92 minutes and the characters, the plot, everything really works wonderfully for this type of movie. Plus it is all shot in Thailand, so it has a beautiful cinematography. Influencer tells the story of Madison. She is obviously an influencer and she's taking a trip to Thailand. She uses the trip, of course, to also create content for her social media, and the movie shows us that not everything is always as it seems in social media, but in a way that it is quite realistic, and it's almost sad to see Madison like that. She smiles for the camera, but once the camera takes the shot, then her face changes to sadness. She's sad in part because she was supposed to be in this Thailand trip with her boyfriend, but he couldn't make it last minute, so she had to go all by herself. She is in this beautiful, amazing country, in these beautiful beaches, but she's not able to enjoy it and she's faking it for social media. One night at the hotel, she meets another girl called CW. She's a very mysterious girl and we don't know much about her at the beginning, but Madison and her become friends and they start traveling around. Madison is also forced to stay in Thailand since her passport is stolen, so she has to wait a couple of weeks until she can get a new passport to go back home, and decides, you know what, since I'm gonna be here anyways, I'm gonna use the time to travel around with this girl and see a little bit more of Thailand, create more content and all of that. But things take a turn. Now this is a type of movie that people are going to spoil it very easily for you, so I do encourage you to be careful what you read about this film because it's easy to get the whole thing spoiled. Emily Tennant's performance as Madison was something that I really enjoyed, as well as Cassandra playing CW. I felt like this movie had quite strong performances, which is something I would not expect from a movie called Influencer. I know that's very judgmental of me, just based on the title, you know, never judge a book by its cover. But that's kind of what I did, and I feel like that is why I enjoyed the movie more than I expected. I felt like the character of Madison had a lot to offer, a lot more than this type of characters have in horror movies, and you really truly get to see a little bit of her background and how basically she became a, you know, social media sensation just by being herself, and now she's having trouble to even smile if the camera is not turned on. So it kind of makes you question a lot of things about social media and success in that regard. I love that the movie started with the influencer voiceover, you know, what you typically would hear in somebody's travel vlog and stuff like that. It really made it work, and I love to see all of those moments where you will hear a voiceover from an influencer. The cinematography was stunning. It was beautifully shot, and I believe this movie was shot still during the pandemic, and they were allowed to go to a lot of different places and locations that normally are not allowed to be filmed in because of tourism and because everything is always full of people. So that was something that played in their advantage in this regard, because the movie does make you feel a little bit like this island is a little bit more isolated. I think even though we get amazing, beautiful shots of Thailand in the nightlife and islands and stuff like that, you also get this kind of spooky, eerie feeling that if you would get lost in this place, would people be able to find you? So it also gives you this kind of like fear of being a young female in a foreign country. They also did a really good job at utilizing different locations for the film, and I think that they played their cards really well and showed us completely different sides of Thailand and completely different sides of a story. We get to see a lot from the tourist resort to also some street cuisine and also even a mansion. I really also enjoyed the script that plays a little bit with the traditional protagonist role, but also offers a lot of other characters. We are still in the early days of the social media phase of the horror genre, and we're seeing a lot of people, you know, getting inspiration from TikTok or Instagram in order to bring us some horrifying stories. But the majority of them portray very standard, simplistic kind of stories of living behind a camera. I feel like influencer tried to give us another perspective on the social media thing and kind of trying to imply that everything you see in social media is not a perfect life, but also all the locations and beautiful resorts and islands that you see also are somewhere where there's many dangers. One of the best things of Influencer is that it has some interesting twists and turns in the story. This is a movie that is not exactly predictable, and I'm pretty sure that some of the twists that we get are going to be like a wow moment for a lot of people. I do have to say that the very ending of it, I kind of saw it coming, but this comes from someone that has seen way too many movies. And also I expect the worst from everybody. Like, I expect the worst, and I guess that's why I also always completely distrust everybody in horror movies. I ended up giving this movie a 3 out of 5, and honestly there is not much more I can talk to you about when it comes to this movie without spoiling it, and that is why this review is a little bit short. But I do encourage you guys to give it a shot, because this movie did something a little bit new with something that is already new, which is the social media slash influencer horror movies. So I was pleasantly surprised, and I loved how dark this movie got as we progressed. It has strong performances, it has really cool twists and turns to the story, beautiful visuals, and no matter how ready you think you are, I think it's going to pull the rug under a lot of people and they're going to be pleasantly surprised. So if you, like me, were judging this movie by the title and the cover and you were like, oh no, another of those movies, fear not, this is different and I think you guys will enjoy it. Even though I don't think the movie really went deep enough to be a social commentary kind of horror film, I think it's a very good horror thriller. Alright guys, let me know down below if you have heard of the movie, if you have already watched it, what you thought of it. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this spoiler-free review, and I hope if you were a little bit scared of going into this movie that I have reassured you that it's worth your time, because I feel like this is a movie that people should watch in 2023. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, and I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!